Hey, Gabriel here with the Icon Capture GPS Intelligence Brief for May 28, 2026. All right, commercial research analysts and business development leads, we need to talk because this is one of those boards where if you only look at the opportunity count, you are going to misread the market. Here's what I want to do with you today. I want to walk through the new opportunity flow, the legislative and executive movement, the regulatory and court signals, and then bottom line what this means if you're actually managing a portfolio right now and trying to decide where to lean in, where to stay patient, and where you may be kidding yourself. Before we start, this is the last brief before this terrain window narrows. 0 seats left in the GPS Terrain Movement Review. Terrain Update, 3,872 new opportunities. Who moved and who didn't? That signal is what opened this session, and it will not repeat the same way tomorrow. Code GPS2A2 at the-icon.ai capture. Now, let's read the board. So let's get right to the facts. Over the last 168 hours, GPS surfaced 3,872 new opportunities posted on SAM.gov. 3,427 legislative signals, 0 federal hiring signals across 0 agencies, 13 C-SPAN captures. And all of that is happening while market BCL is 0%, with 0 agencies stalled under the continuing resolution. When you dive into the latest opportunity flow, the numbers paint a compelling picture. With 3,772 opportunities surfacing over the past 168 hours, the volume is substantial, yet the nuanced details reveal more. If we consider the top opportunities like the multiple award schedule or the Mato C contracts in Japan and a Tobihana Army Depot, the lack of financial specifics points to a broader accessibility issue. There's a high volume of opportunities, but are they truly accessible without clear financial benchmarks? Checking the capture ticker, it's evident that the flow remains steady, yet the absence of fiscal details can create a barrier for firms evaluating their entry costs and potential returns. The BCL percentage holding at 0 is another intriguing aspect. This could suggest that there's either a lack of aggressive competition or simply a lull in significant competitive landscapes. For commercial research analysts, this highlights an opportunity to delve deeper into why barriers to competitive leverage aren't currently being exploited. The accessibility versus volume dynamic appears to be skewed, suggesting that while opportunities are plentiful, the strategic entry points are perhaps less clear-cut. One must also consider the CR drag, which, in this context, seems minimal. With no legislative or executive actions, nor any shifts in DFARS regulations, the status quo holds firm. This steadiness can be a double-edged sword. While it may suggest stability, it also hints at potential stagnation. For managers who read this tape, the real insight lies in uncovering where hidden frictions might exist, despite the surface calm, and how to navigate them to capture untapped value. Pivoting to the secondary signals, the absence of terrain holes, hiring shifts, court opinions, and lobbying clusters is telling. At first glance, it might indicate a quiet period, yet for commercial research and business development leads, this silence speaks volumes about potential market mispricing. Without significant hiring or legislative activity, one might infer a market operating on outdated assumptions, possibly overlooking emerging segments or misjudging current capabilities. The lack of lobbying clusters further underscores this point. Typically, lobbying activity can signal areas of future regulatory or budgetary attention, but the current void may suggest that certain sectors aren't being advocated for as they should be. For those reading the board through the capture terminal, this offers a strategic advantage. Identifying sectors ripe for advocacy and investment can lead to first-mover benefits in otherwise overlooked areas. Court opinions often serve as a barometer for potential shifts in legal and compliance landscapes. In their absence, the market may become complacent, overlooking latent risks or novel interpretations of existing regulations. This is where smart portfolio moves can be made. By preemptively addressing these gaps, firms can position themselves ahead of any potential legal shifts, safeguarding against future volatility. Overall, the quiet on these fronts suggests a market ripe for strategic exploration. By identifying and acting upon these undercurrent signals, those with a keen eye and forward-thinking strategies can capitalize on market inefficiencies and advance their competitive positioning. The GPS commercial market is a rapidly evolving landscape where precision and reliability are paramount. As we navigate this terrain, consider how our federal demand signals shaping our strategic priorities. What commercial adjacencies present the most viable growth opportunities? Are we effectively leveraging system theory to anticipate and adapt to market shifts? In a market with zero tolerance for terrain holes and a flawless BCL, our conviction is clear. Staying ahead requires a synthesis of rigorous data analysis and agile adaptation to both federal and commercial demands. Last thing before I sign off, and I want to be direct. Zero seats left in the GPS Terrain Movement Review. When this window closes, the terrain that justified it moves on. Tomorrow's signal will be different. The next session will read a different board. If the brief we just walked through gave you a reason to act, now is the time. Code GPS282, communities.theicon.ai/capture, the-govcon-elite. 6.4 million records, 4 verticals ready, provenance traced from build to award. Like and subscribe if you're managing a federal grant, research, GovCon, or commercial portfolio. I drop a new GPS brief every weekday. All links, terminal preview, Shipley sessions, live cohort calendar, and the full brief are at communities.theicon.ai/capture/the-govcon-elite. Register free, and it's all there. This is Gabriel. I'll see you tomorrow. I noticed some inactivity, and you will be